Mayor Bell? Here. Vice Mayor Burgess?
Here.
Councilman Nelson?
Here.
Councilwoman Sierra? Here. Councilwoman Lobos? Here. Councilman McCormick?
Here.
Councilwoman Waldman?
Here.
Thank you very much. It's easier than me trying to do it and butcher it. First item on the agenda, Committee of the Whole, June 10, 2008 minutes. I'll entertain a motion for approval.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Any comments or questions on the minutes? All in favor say aye. Aye. And the ayes carry. Thank you. Item B, Handicap Parking Fines Reimbursement Program, tab 3.
I'll move it.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Mr. Manager, comments?
Madam Mayor, council members, the purpose of this interlocal agreement is to be reimbursed for handicap parking tickets. In the past, we did not receive any funding or portion of the funding. When we enter into this agreement, it's going to be about $3,000. Let me just flip to the right one. It's about $3,000 coming to the city, and that $3,700 coming to the city approximately. This money is restricted for improvements to accessibility for handicap and also for disability public awareness program. So it's restricted income, but definitely will help us in working on this program. So we recommend approval.
Thank you. Yes, I have a question, I think, and a comment. Just about everywhere I go, I notice that there are people parked in handicapped spaces who are very young, and they're, popping in and popping out of their car, and I don't know if they have the grandmothers or, if there's a problem, but I'm seeing it more and more. And in fact, just the other day in the public shopping center, there were two and very young people. One was sitting in the car. Actually, she was sitting in the car with loud music and had the handicap sticker. Are we going to utilize the TROs that we just purchased from the police department? Hopefully we can go through the parking lots and we can cite these people and make sure that they're the ones that are supposed to be having that little thing hanging from the mirror. Chief, would you answer that for me?
Chief, go ahead.
I know it's not exactly related to this, but it's related to this, because now there'll be more money in the city of Homestead.
That's what we pretty much use them for, the shopping centers and the areas that we can get in and get out. We used to have off-duty there, but we're no longer there. But that's what they're mainly purchased for, to do things like that.
Are you seeing a big increase in the abuse of the handicap? Because just what bothers me about that is there's going to be someone that's going to drive up that really needs that space, and they're not going to be able to have it.
Yeah. We try to make sure that special shopping centers are being utilized correctly, and we're pretty much enforcing that now. So you're going to see a big increase in that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
No
Any
problem.
comments or questions from council? All in favor say aye. Aye. The ayes carry. Thank you. Item C, RFP 200818 red light cameras, tab 6.
Mayor, council, and
Would you like to go ahead and let's go ahead and move the item, get it on the floor for discussion. I'll entertain a motion to move the manager's recommendation.
I'll move it. I'll second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Mr. Manager.
Mayor, council members, as you are aware, a few months ago, the city of Homestead awarded an RFP to traffic bags. Since then, we've been in negotiations for a contract with traffic bags. Unfortunately, certain things came to our attention, in my view as a city manager, are of concern, and I cannot really clear conscience move forward without coming back to council and tell you that we have issues there. Therefore, it's my recommendation that you allow us to rescind the offer, reject all proposals, and we will report back to you at the later council with a recommendation for approval. You can direct me today to move forward with another RFP, piggyback another contract, and of course you could always reject my recommendation, but I strongly recommend that you allow me to do that and grant me my recommendation here.
Well, Mr. Manager, I support your recommendation, and I also had some concerns after taking a look at some of the issues, and so I absolutely agree with your recommendation. Any comments or questions for the manager from council?
Yes, we've been in several discussions, Mr. Shahada and I have done some research, Mayor Bell and Council, and it's very troublesome to me to not put it out for RFQ from the beginning, especially after having had an opportunity to look at the original RFQ, where it wasn't as specific in certain areas where I believe this council now feels very strongly. And I agree with the recommendation of starting from the beginning and giving all companies an opportunity, even traffic packs, an opportunity to bid again for this RFQ.
Mayor, if I may follow up, I agree with you 100%. Unfortunately, our RFQ, the way it was prepared, did not have certain requirements, in my view, are pillars for any RFP. Discussing it with the client wasn't really strong enough to rely on that RFP. Based on the concerns we have, we could go out for an RFP with really certain requirements, very specific requirements, and anybody, including traffic packs, is welcome to bid, and it will be evaluated fairly and squarely.
Yeah, and I want to be just clear for the record that what we are looking to discontinue negotiations on is an RFP. So I just wanted to be clear about that.
Okay.
We're specifically dealing with an RFP. Ms. Lobos?
Yes, Mayor Bell, I also feel the same way, and I'd like to say, I agree that we need to go back and look at the initial process. It's for the city. We want to get it right from the beginning. We don't want to be in the middle of something and then have to do it again. It's our reputation. This is an initiative that this council is putting forth to put these red light cameras in our city, and so our residents are expecting that we do our homework and that we do it right the first time. So I think that this is the safest and best way for our citizens.
Thank you. And I agree with that. That's exactly what I said to the manager. It's frustrating for me, and government, the wheels of government seem to turn so slowly as it is, but then to have to go back and to, absolutely, have a recommendation like this to discontinue negotiations. I really think that sometimes you have to take a second look, because what we do needs to be done right, and it needs to be done well, so that we're not looking 6 months down the road. And if we were to go ahead and go forth with this, and then we have problems later on, it's better to go ahead, take a second look, take a deep breath, and start the process over again, rather than be dealing with problems that we may have by not revisiting this. And I think anything that's doing is worth doing well. So thank you. You'll have an opportunity to speak when the council's finished. You can walk right up there, and I'll recognize you. I'd be happy to let you speak. Councilwoman Waldman.
Thank you. Since the report from Senator Bullard at the last council meeting, when it was announced to the public that Tallahassee has turned down any legislative matters as far as the fining of or ticketing of red light runners from the cameras, I think we should go back even a step further, and because we haven't had a report on that. That was just something that was brought up from Senator Bullard, or I haven't had a report on that from anyone. So I would like more information. I'd like to know how we're going to handle the situation through the police department, if it's still going to go under the code enforcement officers, and I know we call them something new now. What do we call them? Code compliance or whatever. But I think Chief's happy with that new name. But I just think that we need to really look at this and see what our process is. I'm strongly opposed to not going out for an RFP. I think that's always been the consensus of this council, is to give everyone an opportunity. And I was concerned by the language, because it said in the staff's recommendation that the RFP process be terminated. So I thank you, Mr. Shahada, for saying that. If we felt otherwise, that we can certainly say so. But I really believe that we should keep that RFP process. And I only know what I know. I don't know why this is all happening. I haven't been told as to why. I just have the letter that was sent to me, and I didn't get it until like 4 o'clock this afternoon. It was forwarded to me from the attorneys. So evidently there's something terribly wrong, and I don't know what it is. But I think we have a larger process than just determining to go out for an RFP. I'd like to know why. And I know Mayor said she was going to give you a chance to speak. So.
Well, Ms. Waldman, I would thank you very much, and would like to assure you that we passed an ordinance that this would be under a code violation. We have no authority to issue a citation or a ticket, and actually with what I saw happening in the Florida legislature with the red light camera issue, and what I saw happening, the cities would have actually been crippled, and it would have cost us money to do it. We would have gone in the hole, basically, and it would have been very cost prohibitive for a city to do it. So I think until the legislature can get it right, it's good that it did not pass this year. So we have to let the legislature get it right. And I went there and last year and lobbied quite adamantly on the issue. So I'm actually, when I saw what was happening in the Florida legislature and what they were trying to give us, I was glad when it went down in defeat, because I was concerned about what they were bringing forth. So, but anyway, Mr. Manager, I'm sure you have more to say to that.
Yeah, actually, just I know the motion was moved to approve the manager's recommendation, and I just want to point to your attention number 3. I was going to report back to you with practically alternatives, but I see the direction here from everybody, which I happen to concur with, is to go out for an RFP from scratch. So if it's going to be voted on, maybe we amend it to say that.
Absolutely. Any further comments from council before I call up representatives from the industry? Thank you. Anybody that would like to address this issue, please. Yes. Turn on the microphone and state your name and address for the record, please.
First, it's a privilege to be in front of all of you. It's the first time I'm ever here. I'm a lawyer. I'm not a lobbyist, and I consider myself a simple lawyer. My name is Jay Tomei, and I represent Traffic Packs. With me is the president, Don Wood, and Diane Fulton, who is in sales and marketing. I was ready to make a passionate and heartfelt plea for continuance, but that's not going to happen because I heard exactly what I wanted to hear, and I want you to know that I welcome rebidding this process. We believe in open and transparent government. We believe in due process. We believe in having everything happen in the sunshine, which is a principle of this great state of ours. And I am so happy, so incredibly happy that the decision of this council is to go through the RFP process again, because that's what we wanted. We feel absolutely comfortable with that process, and I am so confident that we are going to win, like we won the first time, this RFP. What I was afraid, quite frankly, based on the city manager's memo, was this thing that we call piggybacking. Because you all have to take a lot of pride that you guys represent the will of the people, and I want you all making the decision. And let me tell you what the biggest problem with piggybacking is. It assumes that some other city has made the right decision, and that some other city's decision may not be right for you all. So the right way to address this thing is never ever piggyback. Throw away that concept from your minds. Rebid this, make the RFP even better, and I will be more than happy to have my clients come up here and convince you all that they are the best choice for the city, and moreover and more importantly, any concerns, and I know the concerns you all had, are going to be answered explicitly in tremendous detail, and there is no doubt in my mind that at the end of this open and apparent process, you all are going to look at Traffic Packs and say, you guys are the ones for the city. Given that, there's nothing else for me to say. We're ready. We're looking forward to the new RFP, and let's go and let the best company win.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Yes.
I'm sorry, but I have to.
I know you do.
I have to say something here. I totally disagree with the gentleman there that my recommendation to piggyback will weaken the process. That's not his exact words. But as a manager, when I come to you with a recommendation, I'm going to give you all the options available, and you are my bosses. You direct me what to do. You know, any direction you give me, it's going to be the proper direction. Piggyback process is a legal process. I wasn't pushing for one alternative versus the other, and I see loud and clear that you want me to go for an RFP, and that's exactly what I will do.
Thank you.
And that's fantastic, and we're looking forward to it, and thank you, and God bless.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I want to say that the piggybacking process is not an illicit process or progress. I mean, it works. It works all the time. We may piggyback on another city's bid, and very often as people have been proven. I mean, I know that's not what we're going to do here, but it's not necessarily a bad process. Go ahead.
And Mayor, I also want to add something that I received an email from their prior president, which I learned tonight that he's not working for you anymore, Mark Hammer. that he's saying he's waiting for the city of Homestead to finish the contract with them because there are other people who want to piggyback on that contract. So I just want to put it in perspective.
Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Madam Mayor, if I may, my name is, Madam Mayor, members of the council, city attorney, city manager. My name is Miguel Diaz de la Portilla. I'm an attorney with Beckman Polikoff, 121 Alhambra Plaza, 10th floor, Coral Gables, Florida. I'm here on behalf of ATS, which was the other company that competed here in this initial RFP. And I'm here to say on behalf of the company I represent, American Traffic Solutions, that we welcome another competitive process. In the initial RFP, flawed as it was, there was a 0.6 difference that separated the two companies. However, on the two categories that had to do with quality, meaning quality of the company and capabilities of the system, ATS blew traffic packs away, and that is clear and on the record. Also, I'd like to just say real quickly that the reason we look forward to the competition is that out of the 18 Florida jurisdictions that have recommended awards or have awards or contracts on red light camera enforcement, ATS has won every single one. In Miami-Dade County in particular, we have Florida City, Aventura, Miami Gardens, North Miami, Sunny Isles Beach, Coral Gables, Cutler Bay, and Key Biscayne, shutting out the competition, which is, I guess, probably one of the reasons why we would welcome any kind of open competition, because when it's an open, fair, competitive process on the merits and an RFP that actually calls for what your city needs to protect the public, because it's about public safety first, ATS has come out ahead. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to being here again.
Thank you. Mr. Shahara, let's expedite this process, though. Let's get this RFP designed quickly, efficiently, and let's get it out.
Madam Mayor, council members, your wish is my command.
Thank you. Yes, you may. Pleasure. Any further comments or questions from council?
Yeah, I think just for
We need to amend the, we need to amend the motion to go ahead and also include that the bid will go out for RFP as well on top of the supporting the manager's recommendation.
So I move that we discontinue negotiations with traffic packs and that we restart the RFP process.
Thank you. My second. Proper second on the floor. Any further comments or questions from council? All in favor say aye. Aye. The ayes carry. Thank you so much. City Code Committee, Councilwoman Lobos.
Thank you. And we're going to start with Finance Enterprise Committee. Item A, which is bid 200803 for uniforms-related items and services. Mr. Shahara, may I have a motion first?
I move it. I move it.
I second it.
Thank you. Mr. Shahara?
Madam Chair, council members, this is really, the city code in the backs had references to signs all over the place. Staff, city attorneys wanted to have it consolidated into one ordinance, so it's housekeeping and to be consistent throughout the code. So they did this. I know the chairwoman and Cherie and James worked very hard on this item, so they know many times what I do.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Let me, different versions of agendas here.
Yes.
I'm working from one that went directly to Finance Enterprise. Let me pull up another one that says City Code Committee. So I had introduced the Finance and Enterprise Committee from another agenda I had.
Let's go back.
She had gone to tab 4. And you were on,
I have to be honest with you,
you were on tab 2.
Yeah, well, that's why I called you on it, because I'm as confused as you are, but I flipped to that item, but it's,
May we continue with Finance and Enterprise and then go back to City
I
Code?
think that they're pretty routine items, so maybe deal with those two and then come back to the songs.
Thank you. Okay, I apologize, Mr. Shahada. I'll show you later that was the order on these agendas. Okay, thank you. So I apologize for that. Let's go on with tab 4. Mr. Shahada, if you can introduce the bid 00803, which is uniforms-related items and services.
Madam Chair, council members, if you recall, a few months ago we had an issue with the uniform company and we put them under certain requirements. They did not perform. We terminated the contract. This is a new bid, and it's staff recommendation or the review committee recommendation to go with this vendor, Centus Corporation. looking at the references, they have local references, and it's my understanding, based on everything we did so far, staff feels strongly that this is going to be a good company.
Thank you.
Ask for your approval.
Thank you, Mr. Shahada. And I believe the history of the prior vendor was given as well as their rated performance, which was poor. Are there any other questions or comments from council? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you. We move on to item B, which is pole inspection, treatment, restoration, and system hardenings, which is tab 5. Can I have a motion?
I'll move it. I'll second.
Thank you. Mr. Shahada, go ahead.
Again, this is a contract to do pole inspection. This company, we use this company in the past, and the way we are trying to do this is to practically piggyback on another contract.
What was that? I'm sorry, Mr. Shahada.
To piggyback on another contract with Key West, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel. So therefore, by the way, it's since the hurricane last time, there are requirements to do inspections of electric poles. This company, we used them in the past. They did an outstanding job for us, and we like to use them through this piggyback process.
Thank you.
And most of the utilities in Florida use them.
Right. Are there any questions or comments from council? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you. Okay, and now we'll move back to the City Code Committee, and I apologize again for that. And we go back to tab 2.
Just don't let it happen again.
I'm learning. And this is an amendment to Chapter 23, Signs and Advertising. May I have a motion?
I'll move it. I'll second.
Thank you. Before I hand it over to staff, I would like to say that this is something that we've been working on for quite some time, and staff more than myself has put a lot of work into this. Joanna, James, and Sally, Shari Kamali. And so I really want to say you guys did a great job. You were very thorough in every presentation that you made, so I really appreciate your professionalism. Prior to beginning, this will come, it's being discussed today at the COW, will go to planning and zoning, and then will come before us for 2 council readings, and that is the process of how this ordinance will move forward. Before even getting started yesterday, I had a lot of feedback with staff prior to coming to the committee of the whole, and I would like to, before I introduce this, hand this over to staff to make 2 amendments to what council has before you. And the 2 amendments that I would like to make that we discovered yesterday is under the mural category. You currently have there that we are proposing that we limit murals to 550 square feet. What I will introduce now is that we wanted to limit it to 20% of the wall, and staff can elaborate on that if that is a question that council needs to have, that council has. Aside from including the language of 20% to restriction on mural on one side of a wall of a building, I would also like to add some language. In the process of the mural coming before council, it states that the application will go to the Director of Development Services and then come before council. Although we know the process is that it's going to go to the city manager, we would like to include that language in the ordinance to say that the Director of Development Services will make her comments to the city manager. The city manager will then proceed to bring it before council. So those are the 2 amendments that I would like to add prior to turning it over to staff. It's a lengthy document, but I would like to just highlight a couple of things. One being the mural. Obviously, it's something that we worked on, as well as some bond exceptions, and the bond amount has increased as well. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to staff and legal. If council has any questions or comments, I will go ahead and direct it to staff or our attorneys, depending on how the question is. Thank you. You guys want to report first, and then we go to questions and comments, or you want to go just comments?
May we go ahead and make the slide presentation?
Pardon?
We have a slide presentation if it would please you.
Okay.
Okay, why don't we go ahead and do this then? Sally has worked really hard on a PowerPoint presentation, and what I had suggested was that we go to P&Z first, present the PowerPoint there, and then come back to the council meetings. But Sally, I know you worked really hard on it, so if you want to go, just go through it rather quickly. And what it is a PowerPoint presentation of the language in this ordinance. When you read the word pole signs, night signs, and things like that, Sally has presented pictures to attach to that language. So if you could just give me a moment here. Go ahead, Sally.
Okay, I appreciate that very much, Mayor and Council. This ordinance is an amendment to the existing sign ordinance. At the current time, we have signs ordinance for fringe and core area, we have the commercial development area, and we have the rest of the city. So we've made this ordinance to try to bring all of that together, as well as to address some First Amendment rights that were concerns of our attorneys. The proposed ordinance revises Chapter 23, which is the sign regulations. The revisions resolve a number of issues left open by the current chapter, removes obsolete provisions and conflicts, and hopefully reduces the number of sign variances being sought and will be easier for us to administer. The City Attorney's Office was deeply involved in the revision because the sign regulations involve many constitutional issues under the First Amendment right to free speech. The objective of the ordinance is to balance the demand for property identification and business marketing needs, and the desire of the city to maintain an aesthetically pleasing, safe, and well-planned environment. August 2006, City Council adopted the new Commercial Guidelines Ordinance, and this proposed ordinance will continue the success of the commercial guidelines and extend similar requirements for signage throughout the city. Consistent with the commercial guidelines, the proposed regulations would no longer allow obsolete sign types, including pole signs, painted wall signs, but will allow business owners to choose between various signage options. In response to the needs of the business community, certain requirements of the commercial guidelines have been relaxed, for instance, allowing a moderate increase in window signage. Temporary sign regulations have been streamlined and placed in a chart providing guidelines for posting and removal, and a bond of $500 is established for temporary signs, and exemptions are provided as well as conditions for removal for safety. Additional revisions address the regulation of flag displays to ensure owners of both residential and non-residential properties are governed by appropriate standards as to size and number of flags. Other amendments improve the clarity of the sign regulations concerning construction standards, lighting, and address safety concerns. Changes to enhance the legal defensibility of the city's sign regulations, including city sign permitting procedures to provide the applicant quick, clear, defined path to judicial review in the event that the applicant desires to challenge the city decision. And then we just have a couple of examples of the signs. Thank you.
I actually looked that up on the internet yesterday. I said, snipe signs, what are those? Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from council?
Mr. Lopez, I have a question.
Councilwoman Waldman?
The 20% is only for murals, correct, Sally?
Yes.
That doesn't have anything to do with signage, the 20%, as far as, for example, some of the entrances to some of the developments.
Right.
The signage for commercial buildings is 20% of the facade to a maximum of 200 square feet.
Okay, because to me anyway, it looked as if some of the entrances to some of the communities were more than 20%, depending on what you consider. Do you just consider the lettering, or do you consider
those are
etchings around them?
No, they're considered. The 20% is relative to the facade of an actual building. The monument signs for the entrances to the development are considered differently. They aren't part of the 20%. The 20% is just if you have like the front of a commercial building, 20% of that front can be in signage.
And then you showed a picture of a window, of a display window, and it was pretty much full of signs. So what is the percentage? I'm assuming that that's in this as well.
Yes, that's also with the 20%, and we were showing that one that is the desirable window signage and one that is not the desirable window signage.
The left one is and the right one isn't?
That's correct. And you can see at the top, they're actually in the same building downtown.
Thank you for clarifying that. Thank you. And the language does state what is part of the 20%. It states the name and the address and the phone number is not considered something, right? All of that is spelled out in the code?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Vice Mayor Burgess?
I was just, with the 550 square feet, should we maybe leave that in there in case somebody has a wall that is 20% is bigger than that, so that we limit it to that, yet 20%? Or I'm trying to, if somebody's got a bigger wall where 20% is 1,000 square feet or something, and we're trying to keep it at a decent size.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Actually, Joanna, why don't you tell us how the language, what is it that you're recommending, and that how do we keep that language and say 550 square feet or 20%, when you just told me prior to the meeting?
Is this related to the mural?
To the mural, yes.
Johanna Lundgren with the City Attorney's Office.
The mic.
I believe it's on, but...
That one has problems. You may have to piggyback.
We never know that with James because he talks so loud.
With the mural sign change that's proposed, I would recommend that it would be drafted in a way that would require it to be less than the square footage requirement that is chosen, or no more than 20% of the wall in any event. We can draft that and work that language out with staff prior to the Planning and Zoning Board hearing.
Thank you. Vice Mayor, is that what you were looking for?
I was just trying to clarify, because if somebody has a wall that's bigger than that, then they're going to be over what we're trying to accomplish here. So I was just, if we can put some kind of limit on it, I think that would be good.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other comments, suggestions, questions? Okay. May I have a motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. We move forward to the Main Street Liaison Committee.
So, Councilwoman Robles.
May I have a motion?
I move it.
I'll second.
Thank you. Let me get
That's great.
Okay, and this is the Homestead. It's a new group that is trying to form on Main Street. It's called the Homestead Merchants Association. And as I understand it, and Mr. Collin, if you're here, if you would like to address council after any questions or comments, what they're trying to do is put together a fundraiser. And this is the purpose of this event, but they're also going to do it a fundraiser / hurricane type of event to be prepared, and that's why the Red Cross has joined in this effort. Prior to speaking, are there any questions or comments from council?
I'd like to hear from them first.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and...
Well, thank you, Mayor Bell and Vice Mayor Burgess and our distinguished council, the A-team. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, show some love. The A-team. Come on, y'all. With Steve DeGray, the owner of Stickensteins, and Hector Hernandez of El Toro Taco, and myself, we have put together the Homestead Merchants Association, and this is solely to raise money for charities, and this one coming up in August 23rd would be the local chapter of the Red Cross, and it being the hurricane season, and it's also on the eve of Andrew. And also as merchants and people, us in the trenches down in downtown Homestead, we're trying to revitalize and bring people down to our area. And that's mainly what we're trying to do. The event will start at 11 a.m. in Lossner Park, and it's going to be a family orientated festival with a lot of children things, water slides, face painting, and this is our vision. And then after 7 p.m. between 1st Street and 2nd Street, we will ask that we can close the street block and have live entertainment, which is going to be sponsored by the city church, and we're really excited about that. There's a runner-up for the American Idol is going to be singing that night, and we're really excited. We just hope we can raise a lot of money for Red Cross. I was approached by Cynthia White when I did a segment on Channel 6, and she approached me and she wanted to do something with us, so we're all pretty excited. That's pretty much what we're doing.
Thank you. And just on a related item, Mayor Bell, Public Works and the Police Department have both said okay with this project, and that's the recommendation that is coming forth with this application.
Thank you.
Mayor Bell?
Colin, I'm very pleased about this. Good job. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun to see, things going on downtown, and I'm just looking forward to it. And thank you for doing this, and thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
I have a question, Councilwoman Waldman. Hi, Colin.
Hi.
Colin and I have worked on many projects together. I appreciate your sincerity. But I do have a few questions, because I didn't know anything about this new Merchants Association. Is this a 503? 501(c)(3)?
A nonprofit? It's going to be. We're working on it. Our lawyers is working it as we speak.
Okay. And I'm assuming that this is going to be an association where you're going to have dues,
memberships.
Memberships. Okay. And I see that you're going to be serving alcohol that night, and I'm assuming that you're going to be using Stickenstein's liquor license?
Well, if it's a nonprofit, we'll be using, we'll get the licensing accordingly to that.
Okay, so you're going to apply for...
Yes.
The thing that concerns me is that in other events that we've had in the past, we've had drinking in the street and on the sidewalks, and that requires a special licensing.
Right.
I looked it up, I forget what it was called. It's a special events liquor license. Is that the kind of liquor license you're going to apply for?
That's what we'll be seeking, yes.
Okay, good.
And I've already went to the police department, and we talked about the different prices if we were going to have just drinking inside the establishments or on the street. And since the band's going to be on the street, the police will be there accordingly for that.
I just want to make sure we're legal as far as the drinking.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm talking about. I know when we did Second Wind in 2002 with the 10th anniversary of Hurricane Andrew, we had and it wasn't even owned by Stickenstein's at the time, but we had a problem with people on the street drinking, and there were some incidences. So we just want to make sure that, I want to make sure that you have proper licensing to protect you.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Mayor Bell?
I imagine it's going to be something just like when we had the Speed Fest downtown. It was very similar. There was entertainment in the streets, and also with the Mardi Gras and everything, so I'm sure it's going to be similar to that. Probably follow along the same guidelines, I'm sure. I know you're going to do it all right. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's going to be choreographed much like those events.
And by the way, I just want to let you know that I did spend about 3/4 of a day in New Orleans this past week, so...
Well, good for you.
I said hey for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. This group has done, all their homework, and it's apparent in the communication that's gone between you and the city clerk's office. They requested more information. You, in a very efficient manner, submitted it. So I don't think this is not going to be done right, and I look forward to the event. Be sure to invite us.
Thank you, Councilman Lopez.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Colin. Good.
And I apologize for my attire. I'm still working.
Oh, don't ever apologize for working.
In fact, Star's all by herself. I got to get back to it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
If there's no further questions or comments on the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And that's it for me, Mayor Bell.
Public Safety Committee, Councilman Nelson.
Thank you. Children's Trust After School Grant Award, tab 8. May I have a motion?
I'll move it.
I'll second.
Thank you. Been properly moved and seconded. Mr. Manager?
Mr. Chair, council members, it's our recommendation to accept this grant. We received this grant in the past, and hopefully we'll be successful in receiving it for many years to come.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Section B, Portofino Port Property Owners Association Incorporated, Traffic Control Agreement, tab 9.
I'll move it.
I'll second.
Thank you. Are there any questions? We've done a number of these in the past. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilman. Mr. Manager, any business?
I have no business.
Thank you. Anything for Councilman, Mr. Nelson?
Yes, been talking, we're going to have a Northwest Section Town Hall meeting, July 31st, Thursday, at the Senior Center on Chrome Avenue, and the address is 43 Northeast 16th Street. It's going to be from 7 to 9.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Sierra?
I have nothing, Mayor. Thank you.
Vice Mayor?
Nothing at this time.
Councilwoman Lopez?
Thank you, Mayor Bell. I wanted to acknowledge a couple of people in the crowd, and I always spellbound books. I mean, I just love Denise. I see her on a weekly basis. And so, Denise, thank you for being here. And then also, of course, Yvonne Knowles is here from Main Street, along with Ms. Ruth Campbell from the museum. And Ms. Knowles is going to introduce someone to us tonight, Mr. William Laura. So we look forward to that. Please.
Good afternoon, Council. Yvonne Knowles, Homestead Main Street Director, and I would like to introduce my whole board. This is all Main Street's board here. Denise Sleeper, and of course our beloved Ruth Campbell, but I'd like to introduce especially our newest member of the board, who is Mr. William Laura, who is now also the chairman of the Multinational Chamber of Commerce of Homestead, a newly formed Chamber of Commerce, and a very strong guiding light on the Main Street board. So we're thrilled to have him, and we're very excited about his new organization. Would you like to step forward?
Return.
Good evening to all. My name is William Laura. I'm a newcomer in Homestead. I've been here now about a year, and in the year time that I've been living here, I have a company that will distribute products to all the little ethnics and little businesses along from Kendall all the way to Key West. But intriguingly, I mostly care more about Homestead, what's going on in Homestead, how much is growing. But there is a lacking of a leadership as far as small businesses. And as I've been going along, I've created just today, matter of fact, has been incorporated the new multinational Chamber of Commerce of Florida. Our target will be Southwest to Homestead. Our base is going to be Homestead. I met Taiwan about a month ago, and just asking questions, I went upstairs to the Homestead Chamber of Commerce, getting some information. I guess they didn't give me much, but Yvonne was very helpful. And now we have created, as a matter of fact, I want to mention it now, for the 4th of July, calling Living the Dream. It's a festival that we're going to have in Losner Park. We have 11 bands playing of all multicultural ethnic backgrounds. We have good sponsorship from Presidente Beer, from Williamson Hummer and Cadillac, Homestead, Armstrong Toyota, Armstrong Ford. We have also Gustos and other sponsors, another 6 or 7 more sponsors. And as we're going along, we're going to keep raising funds to keep Homestead Main Street alive. And one of our biggest target will be the east part of Homestead, where most of people that have been living there don't know where's downtown Homestead. Eventually, we're going to work together with Homestead Main Street to promote from the east to the old Homestead Main Street. So as we go along, we'll be coming up with other different ideas to implement, raise funds, to preserve, and I like to be with the community. So that's me, William Laura, Multinational Chamber of Commerce, which it will be pretty soon knocking on the doors of all the small businesses here in Homestead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Bell, as the Main Street liaison, I also want to say that it's great. We've been getting a lot of response, new groups forming, everybody has the same goal in mind, and I mean, what already exists there, our Chamber of Commerce is just, I a great organization. We know what they do because we not only attend their events, but we are there, we see the product that they put out, and so we really appreciate our Chamber of Commerce. And but it's nice to see other organizations come along, and as long as we all have the same goal, I think we can all work together towards the same goal. So thank you, Mayor, but that's all I have this week.
Thank you. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. We really do have a fabulous Chamber of Commerce, really fabulous Chamber of Commerce, top-notch. So anyway, thank you and welcome. Anything else? Mr. McCormick?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Mayor Bill. I'm still conducting interviews for the Southwest Advisory Committee. So far, I have a good response. I've interviewed, I believe, 8 candidates so far. I have more the rest of this week and also next week. So it's coming along very well with the Southwest Advisory Committee. Also, the Rice to the Occasion Drive, that's me donating or trying to collect rice to donate to the citizens or to the people in Haiti for the food crisis they're going through over there. And here I have a location, a place where you can drop off rice if you have donations. I have the Chamber of Commerce, the Senior Center, the YMCA, the PAL Gym, the Fifer Williams Center, the Police Explorer Building. Here's a list of some churches. I have St. Paul's Missionary Baptist Church, City Church on Chrome Avenue, Greater New Mount Zion AME Church, that's also on 4th Street. I have Bishop Charlie Williams, that's House of God Pentecostal Church. I have Sacred Heart Catholic Church, and also Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church. So all those places, they're collecting donations to help me in this drive for the crisis over Haiti. And if anybody have donations, please help me out. We have a donation here too at City Hall. So thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you very much, Councilman. Thank you so much. Councilwoman Waldman?
I just want to say congratulations on the flags on Chrome Avenue. They look terrific, and I wish we could leave them there forever because it's just so... I can imagine, but they look beautiful, and I just want to remind everyone that we're going to have a great 4th of July because we're going to be in Losner Park celebrating in the early part of the day, and then move over to the baseball stadium for our wonderful 4th of July fireworks, which we as a city provide the citizens each and every year. So I hope that everybody will come out. Last year it was packed, just packed at the stadium. So I'm hoping that I'll see the same turnout. So we'll see you there.
Thank you very much. Mr. Manager?
Mayor, council members, I'm sorry I said no business, but Joanna sent me a note to say something. Just to take the opportunity to congratulate Lillian and her husband on the new baby.
That's right.
Matthew and Noah Delgado. I still can't believe she didn't name him Michael, but the baby is fine and the mother is fine.
How much did the baby weigh?
7 pounds, 7.4.
And Lillian's doing well.
Definitely.
Thank God.
The other thing I want to say, the last meeting I attended for the chambers, one of the things we said we can help them with to promote the chambers is to have applications and promotional material at our licensing office. But of course I won't do it without consulting our attorneys. David Rubens did not see any problem with it. I told Sherry to contact Mary to have promotional materials and the application at our licensing office. When somebody applies for the license, we give them the applications. We're not going to do anything besides just give them. Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Manager. Thank you so much, and this concludes this committee of the whole. Have a good evening, everyone.